interest from the press today, and the main thing that they want to talk about is not the political system, is not the climate and ecological emergency, but they want to talk about whether or not we are going to be storming Windsor Castle. For those of you who've tuned in for a long time, you might remember last year when we did the big one in Westminster, the only thing reporters really wanted to know about was whether or not we were going to storm or disrupt the London Marathon. We said then, no, that is not our intention, that's not what we are about, we're not going to disrupt the London Marathon, and we didn't. We have said to the press and to the media, no, we are not planning on storming Windsor Castle, that's not what we're here for, and they're finding it hard to let go. I understand, obviously it would be much more exciting if we were indeed storming Windsor Castle, but that's not what we're here for today. Or tomorrow or Sunday. We are here to talk about democracy. So what's the programme for the next few days? So we're about to see some really exciting theatrics and listen to some speakers right here on the Long Walk in Windsor. And then tomorrow we'll be doing some more stuff around the castle. I'm just trying to think what we're doing. So loads of us, children, families, members of Extinction Rebellion, the general public, we have all been writing to the King, because as most of you probably already know, King Charles, there's another airplane, and I'm not kidding when I say it is a busy flight path, and with a third runway, bear in mind it would be even busier than it is now, if you can believe it. But anyway, so yeah, we'll be writing letters to the King just about various things, you know, whether he could rewild some of his land, whether he can support, put more pressure on the government to act on the climate and ecological emergency, whatever people really want to say. But the point is that we will be delivering those to the castle gate and see if we can, well, voice our concerns about the climate and ecological emergency to King Charles directly. So there'll be quite a lovely little procession there with lots of theatrics and creativity again. And then later on, right here on the Long Walk, we will be holding our mass assembly, which is a giant community assembly where we will be discussing how might we take meaningful steps to upgrade democracy. Anyone can take part in this. We're really hoping that residents of Windsor will come and join us as well, because obviously this concerns them as much as anyone. I mean, they have huge stakes here with the aviation lobbyists, with the fossil fuel lobbyists, who will be pushing for that airport expansion. And of course that is, I assume anyway, if you live here, is not what you want to see. Yeah, we hope that lots of people will be joining us tomorrow for that deliberative process, the mass assembly, where we'll be talking about how we can upgrade our democracy. So why are we concerned about democracy? It's because in the political system, that is where the decisions that impact the climate and ecological emergency, so things like aviation, things like agriculture, things like transport, things like taxes and subsidies for fossil fuels, they all get decided at government level. And we need to make sure that the government understands that we want those decisions to reflect the protection, action, conservation of our climate and environment, as well as all the people impacted by the climate and ecological emergency. We're already seeing people in the global south suffering from climate breakdown, droughts, and then followed by extreme rainfall, bushfires, wildfires, followed by flooding. It is unbelievable what people are already putting up with. Famine as a result of no rain for months and months and months on end. And we're starting to see it here in the UK. We've seen flooding, we're seeing extreme rainfall, a lot of rain falling at the same time. It's very unusual, and it is all down to our climate changing. So that's why we're concerned about democracy, because these decisions need to be made with the common good in mind and not the profits of fossil fuel companies and other corporations. So yeah, we'll be talking to some of the people in a moment as we get closer to the crowd. There have been lots of people. It was quiet this morning. Lots of people already camped last night. Of course, if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out on our socials. We had this brilliant projection on the castle walls last night with a quote from King Charles himself, because King Charles has been an advocate for action on the climate and on the environment for many, many decades. He's actually a forerunner. He was way ahead of his time already when people were laughing at him when he started talking about renewable energy and environmentally friendly fuel sources, and he was right, you know, and people weren't taking him serious at all. But now obviously we know that he should have been listened to 40 years ago, and here we are in this situation. So here we are at the Long Walk with some incredible people. Let's go and have a look. We'll see. Oh, and this is also a great view behind us as well. So there is Windsor Castle. It's a very famous view. It's strange seeing it in real life when you've seen it on TV so many times, but it does look a little bit different now because Extinction Rebellion is here.
I'm doing all right, babe. Don't you worry about that.
We'll go a little bit closer and see what we've got here, because it looks like we have some oil executives here.
I'm sorry, babe. Money is money.
Oh, there's nothing more important. This is what you really need, son. Get more money. You need
Hello,
more
sir.
money. Oh, hello. Hello, darling.
What are you doing here today?
What's your price? Everyone's got their price.
Price for what?
What? You know, just come over to our side. You can say, damn those protesters.
What is your side? What side are you on?
But on the money side, the green stuff. We want us. All you need is more money. I can buy politicians. I can buy popes. You know, just give me enough money and I'll buy them all. You've got your price. You know, just name it. Is it 1 million, 2 million?
Oh yeah, a couple of million would be great.
Okay, there you go.
What in exchange do I need to do for you if you buy me?
Well, you just need to start, you know, burning money. That's all. You know.
Are you? Do you like oil and gas?
Get on your knees and worship money and oil and gas. It brings the greatest blessings there are. Yes.
That sounds great. Thank you very much for talking to us. That's great. Yes. Have a great time with all your wealth.
Oh, well,
So, yeah.
we're having a fucking great time with all our wealth.
But where are you getting all your wealth from, sir?
Where are we getting? Peasants.
I'd say we've got our fingers in all the pies we can find.
All the pies.
All the pies
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can find.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Well done.
You have to, with all those environmental protesters. It's
Hug a tree.
really hard. It's really hard for us nowadays. You know, whatever we do, however many new rigs we support and finance, there's always a lot behind us with placards and banners and flags.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of negative press.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. They call us oily. Well, that's our business.
Business is business.
Business is business, that's what I say.
Christ's sake.
Unbelievable.
Even some governments seem to be pulling back from investing in oil and gas. I mean, where is that at? What is going to happen to Western civilization without oil and gas?
Well, that is an interesting question. You love the sound of the planes overhead. Of course, they love the sound of the planes overhead. Of course they do. Well, thank you for speaking with us.
My pleasure,
Yes.
darling. My pleasure.
We're the oily broadcasting.
Oh, the oily broadcasting. This is amazing. Oh, hello, fellow presenter.
Piers Organ.
Piers Organ.
You must have heard me before as well.
Yes, brilliant.
Glad to see some friends on side down here at the castle to celebrate all things oil over these next 3 days.
Yes, tell me more about the oily broadcasting company.
We just want to make sure that this festival of oil is properly covered. We know what the left-wing wokatarian media often do as well. We just want to get the true picture. Just look at all these wonderful people. We haven't seen a lot of these since COP. You know, when they did some rather good deals. So here we are, outside a rather nice little house at the top of the road. So we just want to see fair media, because there's not an awful lot of that at the
Yes,
moment.
they flew you in, didn't they? They flew you in.
Yes, of course, we flew in. Do you know what? I met an anarchist here. He's been an anarchist for 70 years, and even he suggested we should turn this into a runway.
Oh, yes.
What a marvellous idea as well. So what are you doing here as well? Which side are you working for?
Well, we are actually here to promote, you know, sustainability and help.
For more oil, keep it going?
No, so fewer planes and less oil and more, you know, green energy.
Green, yeah, well, that's quite radical. What, greenwash energy, is that what you mean as well?
No, not greenwash, actual green, that's good for the planet.
Well, surely oil is the gift of the planet to ourselves, isn't it? We've built everything on oil, haven't we?
Piers, quick, look up what sustainability means. Get your phone out.
What does sustainability actually mean, really? Sustaining the consumption that we have now? Sustaining all these blacks? And we've got opportunities now. The ice is melting in the Arctic, isn't it? We can go there, we can get even more oil from under the Arctic.
Yes, that's true. That would be great. So you're not worried about temperature changes?
It's a little warm. I have to say I'm a little bit sweaty under this as well. I feel inappropriately dressed here as well, but you know,
Okay.
but yeah, okay, it means that I can't go to my villa in the south of France quite as often as I would like to as well, you know. But
And you fly there, I assume?
in my helicopter, of course.
Oh yes, of course.
To refuel in Paris.
So are you quite upset that Keir Starmer's just cancelled his Rishi Sunak's helicopter contract?
Well, no, that's okay, because Rishi Sunak was always a bit of a tosser, wasn't he, as well? So he didn't deserve to find a helicopter at the best of
More
times.
helicopters to go round.
Well, yes, it's one more helicopter to go around,
Yeah.
put to a useful service as well, isn't it? As well.
Yeah. Okay, great. So who are you interviewing here today?
Well,
you here to?
primarily our friends, but we are keen to talk to some of those eco-zealots that are.
Oh, the eco-zealots.
Yeah, we thought it was Windsor Safari Park when we turned up, all crowded into a corner, eating lentils and tofu. We wondered what on earth's going on there. So it was good to actually meet a proper eco-zealot. I've read about them in some of those other media outlets as well. So
What did you think?
they were a bit smelly, if I'm
Yes.
honest, as well. They carry strange messages on their clothes, don't they, as well?
Piers, you'll interview anybody who
Well, I
voices
will
your
do
cause.
as long as it pays. I don't care who I interview.
Okay, yeah. So you get paid lots of money for
just for turning up as well.
the oily
By
broadcast.
The
your
oily
friends,
broadcasting
by your
company.
friends behind
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, with all our friends here.
Lovely. Well, very interesting to meet you.
Yes.
We're going to go speak to some eco-zealots now.
Champagne and canapes later.
Yes, lovely, in the press club. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's have a look here, what's happening. We've got some oil. Oh yes. Oh, so for those of you who hadn't realised yet, we now have a interpreter for us, British Sign Language interpreter. So thank you very much. What's your name?
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, welcome to the show. Welcome to the XR live stream. This is great. I certainly haven't done this with an interpreter before. So we're gonna walk over here now to these interesting looking oil vats, I think. Oh, we're moving, and these are the oil slicks. So the oil slicks obviously represent oil, and they are now slowly, quietly moving up the long walk, and in the background you can see Windsor Castle. And again, we are walking to the rhythm of the planes flying overhead. It is literally every couple of minutes a massive plane is flying overhead over this beautiful long walk in Windsor. So people are asking us, why Windsor, why Windsor Castle? Are you protesting the monarchy or are you protesting the king? And that is not what this is about. Windsor is a very symbolic place. Obviously, the castle is a symbol of an old way of doing things. You know, traditionally it was the king that had ultimate power over the country, over the land, over the people. And then that changed. In fact, we're not far from Runnymede, which again makes this such a great location. Runnymede is where originally the Magna Carta was signed, and that's where a group of barons demanded to also have ruling powers and not just the king. Obviously, democracy or the political system has evolved over the centuries, and really what we're saying here is that the work that started in places like Windsor, like Runnymede, that is the work that we need to now carry on doing. Democracy and politics has always been upgrading, changing, evolving, and that's what needs to happen now. We can see that with the modern day problems that we are facing, such as climate and ecological breakdown, the political system is just unable to deal with it. So that's why we're here. This isn't an attack on King Charles, this isn't an attack on the monarchy. We're a very broad church. We have members of Extinction Rebellion who are for the monarchy, who are against the monarchy, and everything in between. And we fully recognise the complexities and the sensitivities that the monarchy stands for. Obviously, there is a lot of historical baggage, but even the baggage now, a lot of the wealth from the monarchy has come from colonial exploitation. There's a lot of deep ingrained issues of racism and inequality in the system that needs to be addressed and that needs to be acknowledged, of course, but that is not what we are here to do today per se. We are here to say there is this major issue looming over us of climate and ecological breakdown. We can see categorically whether you have a Conservative government or a Labour government, the politicians are unable to act with the urgency that is needed to tackle this crisis, and that is why we need an upgrade to our democracy. And that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow at the Mass Assembly right here on the Long Walk. So behind us I can now hear a bit of drumming, and the oily money the oily money broadcast, or what is it, the oily broadcast company are there, and we've got lots of oily money corporate people, and they are loving it. They're holding wads of cash, and they just love oil and gas. So they are slowly walking towards the castle gates.
We don't care about your water. You can grow your vegetables and dirty oil, because we got money.
Where is the future? Future destruction of the planet.
Your money. We don't care about your children. Let them eat oil.
Yes. The future's black. The future's oily. Yes. Crude or refined, we'll take it any way you want. Any way you want.
So it's interesting. You see here the labels on their jackets and outfits is the faceless financiers, and that is it as well, because we know all about Shell, BP, Exxon, Mobil, Total. They are all the names that we know, but behind all those companies are all these faceless CEOs, executives, the ones lending the money, ensuring the projects, doing the promotion and the PR, doing their marketing. They are all the people that we don't know and don't really think about. And over the last year or slightly more, that's really what Extinction Rebellion has started to highlight, by really targeting not just the usual suspects, but also all these companies behind the functioning and running of all those companies. So it is, without insurance, Shell can't put a new oil rig down, or the ECOP pipeline would not be able to be built, and all these projects need engineers as well. So, you know, the oil pipe engineers. It's so many different businesses that are in cahoots with the likes of the fossil fuel industry, that that's really what we've been busily highlighting over the last year, maybe a bit more. And I think that awareness is starting to come now with the general public as well, is that actually when you're working for an insurance company, when you're working in public relations, who are your clients? Who are you working for? And what work are you enabling with the work that you are doing? And it's resulted in some really interesting conversations with people who've started to realize that actually they are contributing to the crisis. And that's a really hard thing to realize and to learn. And of course, we're about system change. We don't blame and shame individual people, but it does help a lot when people start to realize their own role in the situation. And that's been a really great experience for the movement over the last year and a bit, to get that understanding more out there as well. So after the finance and executives and corporates, we had the drummers, and now we have our rebels coming here. So lots of them are camping here tonight. There's lots more talks and trainings on later on this evening, and obviously there'll be lots more stuff happening tomorrow and Sunday as well. So yeah, let's follow them and see who else we can speak to. Also, one thing to highlight, which I always think is so important, is Extinction Rebellion is really known for how anti-litter and anti-waste we are. So even here, even though we're only here for about an hour, not even, we already have our stewards doing a litter pick, making sure that we leave nothing behind. And often we've found that people have said that Extinction Rebellion tends to leave a place better than it was before we got there. So that is really exciting, and that is in no small way thanks to our amazing stewards, thanks to production crew, thanks to the wrap-up team. It's just amazing all the work that goes on behind the scenes, and yeah, we're just so lucky to be part of it, really. So I don't really know what the plan is next, but I'll let you soak in the atmosphere a little bit while I go and look and see who else we can talk to this fine, lovely evening on the long walk in Windsor.
I'll stay and then go in the morning.
I love Barclays. Barclays is my friend. Peasants, get out of my face.
I'm proud. Oh, great.
Shale gas. Shale gas. Yes. I have several investments in shale gas. What do you want? Good God! Yes, go away. Oh, John.
Stand in front while I speak. So here you can see the oil slicks right on the long walk. For those of you just tuning in, on the long walk in Windsor, with Windsor Castle behind us. The oil slicks obviously representing oil, fossil fuels, and everything that is contributing to our climate collapsing and our environment being destroyed. Based on what you probably already know, the Red Rebels, this came about, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe the oil slicks came about at COP in Glasgow. And they've been making an appearance at various XR events ever since, and it is quite beautiful seeing them here in front of the castle. This symbol of finding wealth and prosperity through the extraction of resources such as oil, such as gas, but other resources as well that historically the UK has benefited from and has made huge profits from and brought so much wealth to so many people. Most notably and most controversially, obviously, the slave trade that historically so many people, especially the upper classes, benefited from. And it's only right, although it's questioned by so many people, it's only right that we are here in front of this castle to highlight the system is unfit. The system does not work. The system is based on exploitation, on destruction, and it needs to change. And that's really what this weekend is all about. And they just symbolizing it just so beautifully, these oil slicks with their amazing outfits and their serene and calm presence, making this statement here today. And behind us we can hear the shouting of the oily money execs who are shouting things like "I love Barclays" and "more oil, more gas," and they are loving the sound of the aeroplanes flying overhead, of course, because to them that is more money, more oil being used. And yeah, we can see the oil slicks are now slowly moving their way slightly closer to the castle. Funnily enough, Windsor Castle obviously has its defences already. There's already a big gate there, but the local police found it necessary to put another fence in front of it because of our presence here today and in the next few days. Really wasn't necessary, but you know, if it makes them feel better putting another fence up, fine. But the march is coming forward now. But yeah, as I said before, but just to clarify for those of you just tuning in, we have absolutely no intention of storming Windsor Castle. That is not what we're here for. We are here for our democracy boot camp to learn all about the current political system, why it's inadequate, and what alternatives there are already out there in the world being used as we speak, and how we might upgrade democracy together. That's what we're here for. So yeah, the march is now moving and we're being told to get out of the way, so we shall do that. So we'll just let you enjoy this view for a little bit while we try and go and speak to some of the participants of this march.
Give me your dirty money and I will free your lives.
Don't worry.
Just film the crowd while I look for.
Okay. I'm just filming the crowd.
Do you guys want to speak to the XR live stream about an assembly and about citizens' assembly?
You have to. No, would you like to? Oh, and both of you. Kathy? Yeah.
I'm sorry. What about tomorrow?
Yeah, no, now.
Sorry, what?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. People are super reluctant to speak to the live stream, so it's always like you've got to find them first.
I don't know how you do it. It blows.
So we're just going to speak to some of the protesters. Here we are. Hello, ladies. How's your day been so far?
It's been fantastic. Yeah, it's really brilliant to be back together in the flesh, seeing all the old friends and rebels. So yeah, really good day. Thank you.
And what made you come to this, to Upgrade Democracy? What particularly interested you in Upgrade Democracy?
Well, I'm here supporting the big mass assembly tomorrow, Saturday, here on the Long Walk, because I'm an advocate for citizens' assemblies and any community coming together to discuss the issues that are important to them. And obviously here at XR we want to promote policy on climate change. Crisis.
And what is it about citizens' assemblies that you like?
I think what I like most about them is it allows people to come together, to listen to each other, to be heard, to listen to experts, to listen to people's lived experience of issues that are really, really crucial to us. And together, when we come together and deliberate, we can come to really good solutions about the ways that we can fix things. And that's a very exciting thing to be part of.
Yeah. It was interesting because we've had some of the local politicians come down to the camp earlier, and they said, oh well, when we saw upgrade democracy, we immediately thought like revolution, and you wanted to get rid of politicians and whatnot. Is that what we mean with that?
No, and it's been really fantastic to be able to speak to those people today to reassure them that this is a collaborative effort, that no one's taking over anything, but that we do have some really difficult issues that we need solutions to, and we can do that better together than isolated or kept out of decision making.
Yeah.
So those were fantastic conversations to have with the councillors who came today.
So you've been on the Citizens Assembly tent today. Have you had some interesting conversation with members of the public, or was it?
Absolutely, and here in Windsor on the street, a couple of really fruitful conversations. So really looking forward to tomorrow, and I hope it will be a really encouraging turnout so that we can pass the message on.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're watching this and you're like, well, I live relatively near to Windsor, or I'd like to come down, there's still tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. If you want to just come for the day, you can. There's lots of fun stuff happening. The Assembly, as you already mentioned, Michaela, is happening tomorrow. And then on Sunday we've got more speakers and speeches and more talks and training. There's lots to do, and definitely worth coming down, especially if the weather stays this nice.
It's fantastic to be here, so please come, join in.
Yeah. Michaela, thank you so much for speaking to the live stream, and we'll go have a look and see what's happening over there.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. So there's lots of noise here. Let's see what they're up to now.
Top 1%! Top 1%! We get 1%!
Can't quite hear what they're saying.
How much tax did you pay?
Stop 1%! Stop 1%!
Your tax leader subsidise us to dig it out the ground! Remember, if you trespass on our land, that's right, we'll release the hounds! Yeah, those hounds in yellow and blue that you all pay for because we don't. That's it. Thank you, hounds. Thank you. Stay on your bikes. We got loads of money. Woo! So, we get rich, you get poor. Yeah. All right, carry on. Go on in. That's how it always been. Get me on with a child.
So here are the corporates.
We get rich. We get rich! You get poor! You get poor! You get poor! Give us your money! Give us your money! We'll invest it in our future, not yours! Our future! Our future! We're the winners! We get to tell the story because we got all the money! So anyway, we're off. Press only listens to us because we got all the money! We're off to see Prince Chucky III, give him his bribe and say, stop talking about the environment. Come on, Chuck. Right with us. You're not against us. Yes. We'll pay off Prince Andrew's crippling holiday on your estate in Scotland. Yes. And we'll chuck in some modern day slavery in for free.
Corporate run, I will report whatever you say. What's not the truth?
Cheers! Cheers! We're making all this money to help everybody by raising living standards across the world. Yeah! That's the truth. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing it for. We're not doing it for big houses and cars and jets. We're doing it to help everybody get better. Everyone likes a free market. That's right. Free market's our best market. Deregulate everything. Capitalism will solve everything. It'll trickle down. The oil will seep through the
So those are the corporates who are just brilliant. So they're basically saying everything that we disagree with, and they're great. They're enjoying their time in the spotlight, clearly. So they are all about profit for themselves. They get richer, we get poorer. It's great. We love them. So yeah, I think there's going to be some speeches at some stage, but it's just such a lovely vibe here on the long walk in Windsor. Lots of members of the public have stopped to have a look and find out what on earth we're doing. It's just a lot of fun. I think when the crisis is so bad and the situation is so serious, you just need to use an element of humour as well, I think, because otherwise what do you do it all for? You have to laugh, right? I mean, it's part of regenerative cultures, I believe. So yeah, I think I'm not sure if they're going to stay there for a bit or what's happening, but the oil slicks have slicked off for now. And yeah, maybe we'll just have a look and see what. Oh, they're over there. Oh, right, they're doing a little huddle over there. So yeah, we'll see what's happening now, or maybe this is the end. We're just going to go get some information for you now.
Because I don't know whether I stand there and go, Charlie Garner stuff about stuff, or if you just don't do that and make it like slick as though to sort of come in more like you know more about what's wrong?
I'm terrible with lights.
Oh, that's
What do you want me to say? Yeah.
So we are slowly getting closer and closer to the fence. We have our own fence, the Extinction Rebellion fence, henceforth a famous landmark in Windsor. And we're just going to talk to another rebel here. Hello.
Hello.
What brought you out here today?
Well, I think it's about time that we actually did something. Democracy, after all, is a verb. It's supposed to be something that we do. I think my old primary school teacher would have said it's a doing word. Democracy is a doing thing. And so that's why I'm here for this weekend, particularly for the Mass Assembly, and that is actually part of Extinction Rebellion's third demand, to have more participatory democracy. We have our own, we've got planes, we have our own specific demand about wanting an assembly on climate and ecological justice, but it's equally important that this carries on through all our dealings with society. We need a just and a fair society, and it's absolutely clear, as exemplified by, we've got people here pretending to be bankers.
They're great.
And making lots of fun of it, but it's a serious matter.
Yeah.
Why should the 1% have all the say? Why should our media be controlled by those with huge wealth and power? So yes, I think participatory democracy is absolutely critical, and that's why I'm here. And I love the fence.
The fence is great. It's beautiful.
Did you pay for it?
No, this is given to us.
No, but I mean, did the tax?
Oh yes, the taxpayers. Yes, so we did essentially pay for it. Yes.
It's a bit of a shame.
Huh?
It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah. Anyway,
thanks for letting me talk.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being
assembly.
Yes, definitely. So we're going to have a little. Hello. Hi. Is it okay if we talk to you for the XR live stream? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. So we're here at Windsor Castle on the Long Walk. What made you come here today, and how has it been for you today? Have you had a good day?
What made me come here? Well, in a way, it's the relationships between people, eh? You know, so there's a political movement, but there's also just the relationships we have with each other. You know, we've been going now for how many years? Is it 6 years?
Yeah.
I see the same people sometimes. I see new people, and there's something about us being together in unity. There's some kind of unity, but at the same time, like massive diversity. You know, so I really love that about it as well.
Yeah.
You know, that we can be united and different at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, what are you camping today as well? Are you staying here? Yeah. And are you? Have you got any roles? Have you volunteered for anything?
So I'm giving some talks.
Oh, great.
Yeah. From regenerative cultures and systems and cultures as well. So really getting across the fact that regenerative cultures are all of the systems that we live in, hey? It keeps getting a bit mistaken that regenerative culture is about regen and having a rest, which of course that's one of the things. But we're talking about wide-scale system change, aren't we? As we're standing here with the police listening, yeah? Everything, all the systems, a more beautiful world. Can we even imagine it? My sense is actually quite a lot of the time people find it a bit difficult to imagine it, hey? But what would this be like in a different way? What would a more beautiful world be like right now, this very second? To me, one of the things it would be that we would actually genuinely be listening to the other species. Yeah, we've got birds flying overhead. They're also living here, right?
Yeah.
We've got the trees. Could we really take in the vastness of this magic? People say, "Where's the magic?" I'm like, "Well, where isn't it?"
Yeah.
You know? So what, I guess that's a big part of my interest. The vision, vision through something more beautiful.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because, of course, you can't have a regenerative culture if your main aim is constant profit, growth, and things like that. They're almost two opposite things, aren't they? And it's interesting that so really the extraction isn't just about fossil fuels, oil, gas, but it's also our own well-being almost that's being extracted every single day.
That's right. Did either of you want to say anything about these ones?
Yeah, I suppose I came because I feel like we're all searching for the answers, even the people in power, and we have to sort of connect as one human family, and that we're all in this mess, that we all need to come through and find a better way to live on this planet together. And it's not about us and them and like breaking down the power. It's about kind of realising our collective power, and it all comes from us. Like the sovereignty over this planet comes from us as one humanity. So it's so that the people in power are just as perplexed as we are, and it's about coming together, all of us. And we can do things in a better way, and believing that we can. We don't have to stay in this old defunct system. It's like, okay, time for time for an upgrade. It's just like inevitable that we have to upgrade. Like if your computer was defunct, you just have to upgrade it. We will find the solutions. We will come through, and we have to believe that because, we know that we're dying and that the planet's dying, and that our whole political structures, our whole economic structures, our whole education structures, they're all not working anymore. And people know that, and I think we feel lost in it because it's so easy to think that there isn't the solutions, and oh my God, how are we going to fix it? But they are there, and we have to believe that we're ingenious species. We create. We are creators. We are the creators, and we have to believe that we can create something that's so much better.
That's beautiful, and I just couldn't agree more. I think especially we've been dealing with the media in the last week or so about us storming the castle and attacking the king, and what you're very clearly saying, and I think that's what we're all saying as Extinction Rebellion, is that this isn't about us, them, it's about we're all in this, we have to work together. How do we reimagine a future that is more beautiful?
The common ground, let's look for the common ground instead of what divides us, what unites us.
And we're all sovereign of this planet as well. We are, the kingdom is through us. The kingdom that protects this planet is through us. So we're all part of it. We're all part of the solution. We're not trying to ask someone else to create the solutions for us and saying, "Oh, you got to fix it." We all are the solution. Everyone is needed. Everyone on this planet is needed to create the solution. We all together, and there's no, we can't just rely on other people to create the solution for us. We all are the solution. And all of us have to come from our hearts.
I love that. We need everyone. Everyone has a role to play, and everyone has value. And I think that is, that's wonderful. Is there anything you'd like to add, sir?
Well, I've been really enjoying listening to my friends talking. They've really managed to describe things that are hard to put forward, but I guess what we're doing is we're trying to broaden the perspective of what we want to achieve. We're trying to bring fresh ideas and a sense that we're all in this together, which I'm repeating maybe what my friends have said, but
I think it's a beautiful sentiment, and I think that is really shared with so many of the people here today. And I hope that message comes across, because that is not how we're being portrayed currently, as a rabble that's going to storm the castle, but that is almost the opposite. We're here to build, to collaborate, to reimagine, and
maybe it's because this has not been seen the like of before, hey?
Maybe.
So again, it's like, well, we can look at what's happened before, but we haven't ever really united as an entire planet, you know? What would that be like? You know, and in a way, this is depicted right here. We've got fences, but there's no air borders.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So in a way, the fences are kind of slightly illusory.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because the air here is going to affect the air there, the air there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this sense that actually, the actual fact is that we're already united.
Yes.
We're not knocking on the door trying to be united.
No.
We're already actually united.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And when we can have the eyes to see that, then, I mean, I can only imagine it, really.
Yeah.
What would it be like that we're not kind of up against each other?
Yeah.
And this is why citizens' assemblies are beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
We're really going, okay, let's get round the table together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, instead of party politics, that, God, how much time is spent getting anxious and getting at each other? Sweethearts, come on.
Yeah.
You know, what would it be like if we gave all that energy to just trying to find solutions that create harmony for everyone? What would that be like?
Yeah.
Could we even imagine it for 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm imagining it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing, and I guess that's what this weekend is all about: is to try and reimagine it.
Yeah, something new that we all need. So it's not.
Oh well, thank you so much, all three of you. That was really inspirational, and I really hope that vibe and that message comes out. So thank you so much, and we'll see you the next few days. We'll go and listen to some speeches now. Thank you. So we're going to go and listen to the speeches now over here. We've got Charlie Gardner, one of the scientists for XR. We'll go round the front over there and try and see if we can listen to him.
Your job will be to respond to the lookout and to take appropriate action when there was danger. Ultimately, of course, that's your job as captain. You're not there just to get people to their destination. You are there to keep them safe and to keep the ship safe. Well, I sometimes think this is how our society should work, really. And I think many people naively do. So I'm a scientist, I'm a conservation scientist. And like many scientists, I became a scientist because I thought that was a way to make the world a better place. I thought if we have huge problems, then of course we need information to solve those problems. And I naively, just bizarrely naively thought that if we generate that information and give it to our leaders, they will use that information to make wise decisions and keep us all safe. But there's no greater example than the climate crisis of that naivety. The lookouts, the scientific community, have told us of this danger decades ago. Decades ago. The world first, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, first released its first global report in 1988, when I was 9 years old. We first agreed globally to sort out the situation in 1992, when I was 13 years old. Since then, our total emissions ever have more than doubled. In other words, we've emitted more in full knowledge of the problem than we ever did in ignorance beforehand. So clearly there is something wrong with our ship. The captain is not listening to the lookout. So why has that happened? Well, it's happened because our governance system is incapable of controlling private interests, essentially. And the fossil fuel industry has spent the last 4 or 5 decades investing just hundreds of millions of pounds in an enormous attempt to prevent action on climate change. And they've done that in 2 main ways. One is that they've invested in a huge disinformation campaign to make sure that none of the public would believe the lookouts when the lookouts said that there was danger. And the other thing they've done is they have corrupted our political systems. And I'm going to pass on to Tom, who's going to tell you a little bit more about that.
That's Charlie Gardner from the Scientists for XR. We're now going to hear from Tom Hardy from the XR press team.
Okay, so for the past
Also
14 years,
co-founder of MP
we've
Watch.
sleepwalked into a corporatocracy. And it's sobering that democracy in the UK has now been downgraded to the same ranking as Orban's Hungary. At the heart of this, all roads lead to the neoliberal free marketeers of the Tufton Street think tanks, who bought their way into becoming the puppet masters of policy, pulling the strings of the last government on behalf of big oil. One would have hoped that Labour would be showing them the door. However, Graham Stringer, Labour MP and Global Warming Policy Foundation member, was reselected, and the new government has already met with Drax. Particularly worrying, Lord Donoghue, the former chairman of the Global Warming Policy Foundation, donated £10,000 to Rachel Reeves just before the election, just at the point they reneged on their £28 billion commitment to renewable transition. These think tanks infiltrate the corridors of power both in government and the media, subverting belief in the science at the behest and benefit of their shadowy US funders, literally fifth columnists working against the interests of this country on behalf of a foreign power, the fossil fuel industries. Most notable are the Global Warming Policy Foundation, of course, the Taxpayers Alliance, Policy Exchange, who of course wrote the PCSC Act, and the Institute of Economic Affairs. Sir Anthony Fisher, who founded the Institute of Economic Affairs, said his mission would be, quote, to litter the world with free market think tanks. James O'Brien of LBC Radio rightly said, this is terrifying in its implications for our democracy. They're all funded by the Koch brothers, the US largest private fossil fuel company, and the Atlas Network, which is itself funded by ExxonMobil through the Donors Trust, a money laundering business on behalf of white supremacist groups in the USA. The Atlas Network was directly implicated in a secretive US lobbying effort to subvert British democracy. The Tufton think tanks might not have as much control over the government as they used to, but they're still deeply rooted in the press, spreading disinformation about established science and undermining efforts to combat climate change to protect their funders' interests. This is where we need to focus some of our attention in the months ahead. Thank you.
So this is where we find ourselves. This is where we are today. We are governed within a democratic system that has been entirely corrupted by the world's filthiest industry. And of course that has to change. It would have to change under any circumstances, but we are in the depths of a planetary emergency. And we will not get out of it with the system we have. So that's why we're here today. We need to develop a better system. And luckily, we don't actually need to develop it, because that has been done. Some of the world's brightest political minds have been working to develop ways to enhance, to improve on this failed system we have. And what they've come up with, the most exciting tool they've come up with, is what we're here to talk about and practice and celebrate this weekend. And that's deliberative democracy. Upgrade!
Democracy!
Upgrade!
Democracy!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Come on, use your voice, make a big noise! Come on, use your voice, make a big noise! We are here because we, you and me, the people, have the power! Power to the people!
Power to the people!
People have the power!
People have the power!
Tell me, can you hear us?
Tell me, can you hear us?
Getting stronger by So we're here at Windsor now to say not just that we have the power, but to show that we have the power by having deliberative democracy right here at Windsor. Please join us for the next couple of days and join me in saying no more hypocrisy. No more hypocrisy. Let's upgrade democracy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
Let's upgrade democracy.
You know what it's got to be.
You know what it's got to be.
A citizens' assembly.
Citizens' assembly.
You know what it's got to be.
You know what it's got to be.
A citizens' assembly.
Citizens' assembly.
Oh my God, love it. Woo! Love it so much. So what happens now? Sean. And now we have Sean.
No, I think that what's happening now is that we're dispersing peacefully. We're meeting back here tomorrow for a mass assembly. We're making our own way back to our protest base, and anybody who is getting back via anybody that was in my gang getting here, if you meet me here, we'll have a way to get you back just through those gates over there. So unless I'm wrong, I think we're heading back to base.
So that was some really exciting speeches there, right by the fence of Windsor Castle. I mean, how exciting is that? I mean, it is such an amazing space to be. So much history there, and obviously not all good, but we are here and we are here together, and there's so many people who want this change, who want collaboration, who want togetherness, who want fairness. People don't want this rich elite anymore. You know, we want something that we can all be proud of together, something that something that will keep us within the planetary boundaries, something that will stop the harm, something that will restore nature, restore our planet, and restore people as well. Don't forget that this is a huge crisis, not just for nature and for wildlife, for habitats, but people are suffering right now because of climate and ecological breakdown. Obviously, the vast majority of those are in the global south. They're black and brown people, and there's this huge element of racism, of a hierarchy of life, that those lives are deemed less important by our politicians, by our corporations, that they are happy for us to continue to emit more greenhouse gases to ensure that those people in those places in the global south continue to have their homes destroyed, their crops failing, starvation and famine. You know, what we're seeing already in the Horn of Africa, in numerous locations, is just horrendous. And it needs to stop, and we don't want that anymore, and basically that's what we're here for. So I think we're going to go and speak to Todd now. we're going to just have a quick chat. I think he's over there. Should we just get up? And then I think now slowly everyone is going to start making their way back to the camp. There'll be lots more things happening. We'll follow. Oh, we're going to go this way. Sorry. Watch the ladder. So we are joined here by Todd. How are you doing today? How's your day been?
It's been lovely, yeah. It's been a nice, lovely walk through Windsor. I don't think there was any chaos or storming of castles, to be honest.
Sadly, no storming. The Daily Mail will be so disappointed with us.
I know,
Bless them. So this is quite a poignant place for you to be sitting because we are right under a flight path and you are a former pilot. How does that feel when you look up and you hear these planes going overhead? One every 2 minutes, maybe more?
Probably every 60 to 90 seconds, given that it's Heathrow, one of the busiest runways in the world. But yeah, it's a different world, Marianne, to be honest. And I guess what I can say is that I really believe in the people that are here and the reason that we're here in an organisation called Safe Landing that I'm a part of. We're a community of aviation workers, and last year we actually ran our very first pilot project of a deliberative democratic process in Bristol with aviation workers, and it was the first time aviation workers got to come together, hear from experts like Airbus, even the government's CCC and an NGO, Aviation Environment Federation, and understand the problems the industry is facing. Ultimately, a report came out the other day and said that by 2035 the industry is going to have completely used up the carbon budget. So this is a major risk to aviation workers, and they're blissfully unaware up there, you know, reading the likes of the Daily Mail and if you're coming into the industry, you want a long-term career. So what we're saying in Safe Landing is that let's do more assemblies. We've actually got a pilot union that's looking at commissioning one as well, and you know, let's understand the issues, empowering the workers beyond the short-term thinking of board members and politicians. And so I think although it's a weird place to be underneath a flight path, I guess once upon a time I was up there ignorantly bliss as well, so you know, I have some empathy, but hopefully we can create change, and this is a big part of why we're here. So
no regrets in your decision then?
There's definitely a part of me that always wants to be in the air. The 5-year-old me that wanted to fly since, you know, my entire life. You know, he's always looked up at the sky and wants to be in the sky. But the reality is, I love the earth and, you know, the destinations that we used to visit much more than the job itself and the money that you can earn. So to be here being able to speak authentically without a company that I'm employed by and a contract that I'm governed by, I can speak my mind, and that's actually quite liberating.
It's so exciting that you did this aviation assembly. What were the reactions of the aviation workers? Were they quite shocked? Were they like, well, I don't care? I mean, what were they saying?
So it was all commissioned by us, but it was run by an organisation called Involve, so it was completely independent. There was a sortition process, albeit we only had a small amount of workers that applied. They were paid for their time and stuff, but it was a 3-hour workshop. Every single one of them, the feedback was that they'd love to do it again, and they had a really nice experience. So, you know, they're working for Airbus, Rolls-Royce, these big manufacturers. They want to see the next generation of aircraft. They want to see the future of the industry. But if we carry on doubling, tripling our emissions and growing the industry, there won't be a future for the sector. So it's counterintuitive, but if we do less now and we understand that, then we might actually have a carbon budget left to, you know, in 15 years' time, when there is some other technology available to carry on flying and do it in a more fair and just way.
I mean, it sounds great, and I think that is what tomorrow is going to be about as well. It's just having people sitting together, talking, learning, understanding. Do you think you'll be commissioning another assembly? As Safe Landing?
At Safe Landing, I mean, that was all the funding we could secure, fortunately, to commission that first one. But what we're doing with that pilot project, we've got some great videos and feedback that came from the group. So we're lobbying. There's Balpa Pilot Union, and they're looking at running their own. They're calling it an aviation forum, so it's like don't want to be too blurred between what a real assembly is and what they're proposing. But you know, the more that deliberative democratic processes happen, people can understand and get involved and see that their voice is important, and they know the industry best. So yeah, hopefully we can get more unions like Unite, and eventually like the government to do this within the whole of the aviation sector, or maybe even internationally. So we can figure out what's best for the people that are in the sector, and you know, during the pandemic, because of the enforced regulations on flying, millions of aviation workers lost their jobs. And if we bust through the carbon budget at 2035, the same thing could happen. International law could say, well, sorry, it's done now. Like, so yeah, we got to do less now, and yeah, make sure that there we go. As A380 from Qatar there, the double-decker Airbus. So yeah, and then we're also fully aware of these ultra-fine particle pollution now. There's a new research going into that. And even here right now, we're getting this fine particulate matter which goes through our eyeballs into our bloodstream, into our brain. It's like, you know, yeah. So you know, I don't think if the king knew that, he might be so happy about them flying over his garden.
No, he's right for hanging out in Balmoral for the summer. Yeah, absolutely. Tom, thank you so much for speaking to us. Yeah, we'll speak to you again this weekend, I'm sure. So here's the summer band. Officers briefly while we talk to you. Should we do that? Should we go and stand over there? Or we can, yeah. We just want to ask you how it's been, how have you felt today is gone? Has it been positive?
I think it's very positive. I think it was a beautiful evening for a start.
Yeah.
I've been coming here for the last 3 weeks talking to local people just to so that they're aware of what's going to happen, and if they read the Daily Mail, for example, and the ridiculous stories that have been put up in there about us storming the castle, you know, it's just completely made up, and the local community are very interested because I don't know if you know, but the local Tory MP was elected on the basis of opposing the expansion of Heathrow Airport. Most of the locals, I spoke to a landlady, she gets up in the morning, she listens to the birds for a couple of minutes, and then the planes start.
Yeah.
And it's in her mind the whole day until they stop in the evening, and that, you know, intrudes into her mental health. And they don't want an expansion of Heathrow. It'll increase air pollution. It's not good for the children, and having a different form of democracy like citizens' assemblies, community assemblies, is a way for them to show democratically how they're affected and their feelings for an area. Because at the moment, normal people living their lives that are affected by polluting industries don't have a voice when the MPs make their decisions based on big corporations and big corporations' desires to make money, and they tread all over normal people. So, you know, they should come along to the Citizens' Assembly tomorrow, the mass assembly, and realise there are other ways to do it.
I really, really hope they come along because, yeah, that's what we've been saying as well. You know, Labour have really indicated the direction they are travelling with going over the head of the local council around City Airport and saying we want expansion of City Airport, even though local residents really, really don't want it. What is that going to mean for Heathrow? I mean, that's very much going to be the same story, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think if they do come along and we can get community assemblies in Windsor, then that'll be a really good model and a really good example for the rest of the country for all the issues they have to deal with, whether it be solar farms and the lies that are being put out about solar farms taking away farmland, which is ridiculous. It's less than golf course area that's going to be used, you know, and really get some truth telling in our democratic system, rather than the whole thing being informed by the right-wing press that's owned by billionaires who lie. And anybody who wants to see that, just look at what's been said about Extinction Rebellion and this weekend is absolutely absurd, which is, and the reason, and them putting out their erroneous headlines is why we have these enormous barriers here in front of the castle, which is, you know, is just...
Which the taxpayers are paying for.
Yeah, and the big police response. I've been liaising this with the police, the local police here for 6 weeks, and they completely understand that it's going to be peaceful and it's all about democracy. However, they have to turn out in force because of what the Daily Mail are saying, and the Sun, of course, this morning. Yeah. So the Daily Mail and the Sun, I think they should pay some of the fees, some of the police.
Just my bag was being taken by one of the stewards, but that's fine. This is why we all look after each other, which is great.
Yeah. So I think the Daily Mail should actually contribute to the policing costs because they've caused this.
Yes.
It's not us, it's them, and they're just telling lies, and it's this great example of how they lie to the public.
I know, it's been really interesting. I mean, obviously we've had lots of lies told about XR before, but this has been so blatant, and so, yeah, it's been quite an interesting experience. But on the other hand, it's given us loads of great publicity, so, you know, that's quite good as well. Anything you're looking forward to for the rest of the weekend?
No, I think I've spoken to so many people in Windsor who have been hostile at first, and when I've explained what we're doing, they've been really positive. So I just hope that continues to happen over the weekend, and we reach out to hearts and minds and have proper human contact and proper discussions and debates.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when we've only been here for about an hour with this going on overhead, I don't see how anyone living in Windsor can be against us, because it's horrible. I can't quite believe how bad it is, and that is with only 2 runways. So yeah, but anyway, Paul, thank you so much for everything you've been doing, and we'll come grab you again at some stage over the weekend, I'm sure.
Have a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think we are going to wrap up here. We've got this beautiful long walk as a backdrop, and everyone is like looking at their watches saying, come on, let's go home. So yeah, we've got beautiful Windsor Castle over there, and of course the wonderful, now world famous Extinction Rebellion fence, a new addition to this historic landmark, which yeah, is all for us, and hopefully funded by the Daily Mail, because it is thanks to them that this fence is now here. So no storming. I'm sorry for the Daily Mail readers, they must be so disappointed, but as we are an organisation that only tells the truth, we said we weren't going to storm the castle, we haven't stormed the castle, we're not going to storm the castle. We are here for a weekend of democracy boot camp. What is the political system right now? Why is it failing us, and how might we improve it, and what meaningful steps can we make to make that a reality? That's what we're here for. We've had an absolutely amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Extinction Rebellion live stream, and from both of us, thank you so much as well for your amazing work. I so do admire our interpreters, it's just amazing, and thanks Felix as well for stepping in and being our live streamer, and we'll see you again tomorrow. I think we're going to start around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so be sure to tune in and have a lovely evening, everyone. Goodbye.